What to do before the interview. Very important. Make sure you know where you're going. Yeah. Make sure you have plenty of time before you know where you're going. Um, my last interview, I drove 2 hours to interview. I left an extra hour early just to make sure I had the office building and know where I was going. I still ended up being there about 5 or 10 minutes earlier for the appointment because I got lost. And I was so grateful I gave myself that extra hour because I needed it. So knowing where you're going to drive to and having understanding that there might be an accident that holds you up or something. So plan to have that extra time. So important. Also, I role play with friends or family or support group or whoever interviewing questions. You can find interview questions on Google, YouTube, anywhere. I was lucky. I knew some of the interview questions beforehand. What are your strengths? Why should we hire you? What are your challenges? Tell me about a challenge that you've had on the job in the past and how you overcame it. What are uh, some of your strengths? Particular things, or one of the best questions that you'll hear often is, what are your weaknesses, or what is a challenge for you? Um, that question, I try to be very honest with, is documentation. I am not the greatest person with documentation. I always am looking for feedback. I'm very particular about writing every single thing down. I keep a little pad of paper, my personal notes, time, date, everything that happened, important, significant times, and then I write also in my progress notes. However, my progress notes can be too detailed, um, and take up a lot of space. So that's almost a positive in our field because you want to make sure you document everything in word for word and have all that information. However, I can always use some feedback. So me saying that, saying I'm also open to learn more and to be better. So you can take a question like, what is your weaknesses or what is your challenge, and turn it into a completely different question like, one of my challenges are when my schedules change. I keep a very strict schedule. I write everything in there and I need to remain flexible. However, I've learned to prioritize things better so I can become flexible, but I'm very particular and I want to make sure I show up to places when I say I'm going to be there. So taking that question again, saying, oh, she's very particular about her times. Is she going to be flexible? But she shows up when she says she is. So, trying to take a negative with a negative and a positive and put them together, like always following up with that positive. Making sure that you look presentable. Iron your clothes. Take the extra steps. Put on clean shoes, clean socks. Take a quick shower. Don't put too much makeup on. Don't put too little. Um, don't look too dressed down. Learn about the company before you apply. One of the things for the company I work for now, they have a motto about being together, as coming alongside people and really encouraging them to live a better life. So in my interview, I discussed how important it is to partnership with clients to become better, because I knew that that was important to the company. So it's okay to do a little investigative work and find out what their motto is and what's their core goals and values. What do they find? And also, look up Better Business Bureau. Do they have any complaints against them? Or are they the opposite? Does everyone say that they're a great company? What's the review on Google? Are there reviews from the employees? Are there reviews from the clients? Things like that. For the pay scale, that's always a tricky question at the interview. How much money would you like to make, or what's a ballpark figure that we can give you? You don't want to shoot too high, you don't want to shoot too low, you don't really know how to respond. I usually just tell them, like, I'm open for that discussion when the job's offered. When you offer me the position, I would love to have that discussion with you. You don't need to have it in the first interview, and it's okay to have your own questions as well. An interviewing process is almost like a date. You are there to find out if you're a good match for them and if they're a good match for you. So when you have the mentality of you're going in to find out if you're a good fit for each other versus I have to get this job, I really need this job, and understand whether you're a good fit, it's kind of gives you a new mindset, and it's like shopping around for the goal or the position that best fits your needs instead of being the employee that fits their needs necessarily. Glassdoor is very helpful for looking at pay scales when you do get to the point where they offer you a position, just to know like what's the average pay that somebody they paid before, or look up on Google what the average pay is, ask around, talk to some other employees. Um, Definitely, that's important.